Hey guys, this is Grant Coombs III, aka Balbomb, coming to you for another video from CardRunners.com. This is going to be the third installment of my Leakfinder series for Epdog's play on Bovada. And the first two I did back to back, which I typically do. But actually what I did for the third part here is that I took a little break, rewatched the video. Might have been some things that I might look at differently than the first time I looked over them. And additionally, I've also logged about probably 15,000 hands on Bovada since then. So I do have a little better feel for these games as well. And hopefully I can give you a little bit more analysis when it comes to that. The first thing I would say, though, is I think for the majority of those hands, I was playing while playing on other sites. And that became really difficult, and I definitely would not advise you to be doing that all that often. My reads weren't quite as crisp as I would have liked. And I definitely think that just focusing on the four tables when you have no HUD is going to be really critical to your success. With that said, we left off with this pocket fours hand. So let's immediately look to table 2. As always, we're going to have table 1 here, table 2, table 3 in the bottom left-hand corner, and table 4 in the bottom right-hand corner. So let's start off. The player number 5 here is effectively the button, so I think this is a really good spot to be squeezing your ace-x suited sort of hands here. I'm pretty much going to be doing that against easily 90% of players. The only players I'm not going to be doing that against are guys that are just going to be calling 100% of the time. And also, if I'm playing in games like these will be a lot of the times where I'm not as concerned about squeezing, I will be increasing my calling in the small blind range as well. Throughout the video, though, player 5 has been quite active, so I think 3-betting ace-9 suited is going to be a good hand. Not just because of its playability and the ability to take down the pot, but also it's going to be a nice spot to even play post-flop. I think we're going to have the best hand a decent amount of the time. The flop, I think a lot of players probably overplay this, and I really like the way Epdog played this hand with ace-9 suited. Even though we have the nut flush draw, even getting called by more than one street on the flop, we're probably going to be up against a really big hand. And honestly, he'll probably call us here with King Jack if he calls a hand like King Jack suited, or these players could be very apt to call King Jack offsuit as well here, to call the cold 3-bet here. But with that said, there's just going to be so little value here, and really the majority of our value is going to come from either hitting our hand or bluff catching, that I like checking here way better. Additionally, the cold caller's range probably going to hit this board pretty well, so I don't expect us to be in a situation very often where we're going to get called down multiple streets with the worst hand. So I like checking here a lot. Opens up his bluffing range. I think pocket 9s and pocket 8s particularly will be looking maybe just to take it down in one step, assuming that if they check back, they're going to lose the hand all the time. So I think it becomes rather standard here on the flop. The interesting part becomes, do we want to call a jam here on the turn? And unfortunately, I think that while it is a really pretty hand and we have a lot of outs, obviously, to the nuts, or if we hit an ace, probably going to be forced in a situation where we're calling down, I think that checking is still going to be the best option. And if he shoves, I think we're going to have to fold, unfortunately. He ends up checking back the turn here. And I think that definitely limits his range, obviously. It takes away the really big hands, such as Jack 10, pocket queens, ace king, ace queen. But the real question becomes, is this better off to be a check call, attempting to get complete bluffs here? Is it going to be better off to just check fold, knowing that probably a hand like ace jack or ace 10 would play it in a similar fashion? Or should we just be betting out? Like we talked about before, though, at the beginning of this hand on the flop, there's just not going to be that many hands that check call us, so I think betting is really completely out of the question. So let's see how the action unfolded. He ends up just betting 25 here, and I think this is sort of a math question of whether we're going to be ahead of the more than 1 out of 4 times, and I think we're getting nice odds here, and I also believe that a guy that has less than 100 big blinds to buy in, significantly less to start the hand, probably going to be more likely than not to be a rather weak player. So I think that I would probably make a call here. And if he shoved the river, I think I would probably be a little less likely to call. In fact, I'd probably fold against most players. Also knowing that hands like Ace Jack are going to be playing in the same way. And also a hand like Ace Queen or certainly King Queen could fall into that range as well. But when he bets just 25, I think he's giving us a good enough price. If he's going to value bet thinly with Ace Jack, then more power to him. But I don't see a lot of players on this site being able to value bet as thinly as that.